Hi everyone, in today's video we're drawing a super cute 3D bear popsicle using Posca paint markers. This is a fun and easy tutorial for beginners. So let's grab your pencil and get started. We're going to start off with the outline of the popsicle. So I drew 2 dots. That determines the width of the popsicle. That means how wide it is. I'm making a dot up top. This is going to be a point of reference that I'm going to draw to. So I'm going to draw a line up, vertical, and now I'm going to start curving it to that mark. Now back around. And there we go. We have our shape of our popsicle. All right, we're going to go ahead and move forward now. So this is going to be the popsicle stick. So these 2 marks are going to determine how wide the popsicle stick is. So as an artist, we're always thinking about our proportions, size relationships. How big is the popsicle stick in relationship to the ice cream on top? If we start drawing things out of proportion, then it doesn't look right. So this is a 45-degree angle. I'm showing you a cheat method for what's called 1-point perspective. So we're drawing 2 45-degree angles. And these would go off to a vanishing point off into the distance. Now I'm going to match that curve on the right-hand side all the way down. So you can see that line matches. Both lines match. And then we're going to do it one more time. So in 1-point perspective, the face of the object, the front of the object faces you. In 2-point perspective, the edge of the object is going to be facing you. And it looks like this teddy bear popsicle's been dipped in chocolate. That's the fun thing about combining a popsicle and a bear. So this is going to kind of create the fur texture, but it's also creating the chocolate that it's been dipped in. All right, I'm going to start off with an oval. So sometimes when I draw shapes, I like to get my hand moving in that motion, and then I just put my pencil down on the paper. Add little paw prints. I'm going to try to match the same size paw on the other side. These are sometimes little lines that we see on the popsicles. It's a little indentation. So we're adding detail now to our drawing. More detail. Moving my hand in that circular motion. Making sure I'm getting the size and the placement of those eyes correct the best I can. It's called proportions. It's very important. As an artist, you got to pay attention to your proportions. We're going to do the snout. His little nose. I'm going to go back and add little white dots inside of the eyes. So we're doing this kawaii style, which is Japanese for cute. So these are little highlights. Do you guys see how I'm doing the pupil? It's basically a circle. I'm just not drawing it through the highlights. Give him some eyebrows. So when we first learn how to draw, we start drawing with basic shapes, and then we move on to using forms. So both a method of symbolic drawing, but as you can see, drawing with forms is starting to become more representational. It's looking a little bit more realistic now, the way a popsicle really looks. We've got to add his little ears. And so once again, we want to pay attention to our proportions. So how big are the ears in comparison to the body of this popsicle? I'm going to make 2 marks, and that's going to establish my size for my next ear. That's an easy way. So you notice sometimes I make little marks. They're kind of little guidelines or guide points to draw to. That's going to help you out with your proportions, your size relationships in your drawings. And when we draw shapes and forms, we oftentimes use construction lines, so it's always a good idea to draw lightly in your drawings so you can easily erase. I'm going to add a little detail. This is going to be like a little hair, but you know how sometimes you dip like maybe ice cream into chocolate and it gives that little swirl at top? I think like Dairy Queen ice cream, that's one of their trademarks. They have that little dollop on top. Now we're going to continue that droopy chocolate down the side of our popsicle. It's coming together beautifully. This is a beige Posca marker. So beige is basically light tan. If you don't have Posca paint markers, you could use whatever you have. You could use crayons, colored pencils. You could use markers. I recommend a 24 to 48 pack because you're going to have more variety when it comes to using color as value. So you'll have many different shades of brown and all of your other colors. I'm mixing in some white acrylic paint marker to make the beige lighter. That's the great thing about Posca paint markers, is you can mix them right on your canvas. And here's our brown, and I'm gonna go back over it with the beige. So I want to make it a little bit more of a lighter brown to create the shadow on the right hand side. Whenever you use value, we're adding depth and dimension to your artwork. That means we're making it look more three-dimensional. Using that beige again for the snout. This comes in handy as circle template for kawaii-style characters because they oftentimes have circular eyes and white dots, and it can help make your eyes kind of stand out a little bit more. It's a focal point of the character. It adds to their cuteness. And you can see our drawing has really come together today. And these vibrant Posca paint markers are really bringing our drawing to life today. I've also included a free coloring page. And so you could always practice using your Posca paint markers, or what, like I said, whatever you have. Use the coloring pages to practice your coloring and try to use value. Use the different shades of colors. Get that 24 or 48 pack. So this is just the regular brown, and this is going to be my base color for the chocolate. And if you didn't know, I also have other channels. So I have SketchLab Junior, where I do easier stuff. It's a made for kids channel, and it's our first steps in drawing. So we just focus on drawing with basic shapes, and we talk about proportions too. And I've also started up a digital art channel. So the great thing about these coloring pages is we're going to get to use different mediums with the coloring pages. So maybe we'll use alcohol-based markers like Ohuhu markers, Prismacolor, colored pencils. And we could even use them to practice in programs like Procreate to do digital coloring. So as you know, SketchLab is a full art curriculum for all learners. So with Posca paint markers, you have two options. One is you could mix colors on your canvas. If you don't want to color mix, you just need to let that color dry first, and then you can do a layer over the top. So when I do highlights, for instance, I like to let the paint dry first. That way those highlights pop more because they're not going to be picking up the color that's underneath them. So now this is the cacao brown, which is just a darker brown to add in the shading. This guy is looking awesome. I love it. So we're gonna try to create a wood texture. So I have a light yellow, and then this is a light orange. Got a little bit of beige now, the light tan. And now I'm going to create the wood grain. So it's a little bit of orange, and I have a little bit of the beige again. I'm going to go over the top of that. And that's kind of creating that lighter wood color. And then now this is going to add in the shadow. Wow, that's looking cool. I'm back with the cacao brown. And now for the eyes. I loved how this orange, look at that orange today. It kind of reminds me of A&W Root Beer, how their logo has the orange and the brown in it. It's beautiful. And then I have light orange at the very bottom. So it's always good to use value. Use 2 different shades of a color. Now I'm going in and adding some brown for the top of the eye. So the gradation is like light orange, orange to brown inside of those eyes. Look how beautiful that turned out. I'm going to start adding some highlights as you saw there. Now this is a dark brown. This is going to give us more contrast. It almost looks like it's black, but it's actually dark brown. So this is back to the cacao brown. So we have the brown, which is the lighter brown. The cacao brown is the medium brown. And then we have the dark brown. So we have 3 different values of brown that we're using to color in the chocolate. The chocolate dip teddy bear popsicle. Darkening up the left side there of the drips. Gotta make it drippy, bruh. Well, our 3D bear popsicle is almost complete. So I just want to talk about a few things. Remember, if you want to color your own version of this bear, maybe you change the colors of it, you can download the free coloring page off my community tab. So if you're a subscriber, you can access the post column, and I have the link in my description, and I've also pinned it in the comments section. And if you want fun art tutorials like the one you have today, I have a whole Posca marker playlist, and I'm going to leave that at the end of this video for you. And as I said before, I do have 2 other channels, SketchLab Junior for the littles, and we also have now my digital art channel. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I loved how this cute teddy bear popsicle turned out today, and I hope you did too. Well, keep drawing.